Hi everyone, my name is Daniel, and this is the final project for CCHE 590. My teaching problem involves teachers and faculties and their use of rubrics. The teaching problem, meeting the need for faculty engagement and understanding the importance and significance of using effective rubrics in courses. Now, why is this important? Well, faculty need to use effective rubrics for grading purposes and ensuring that learning outcomes of the course are met. Administration use rubric data for reporting purposes such as accreditation, and students need effective rubrics from their faculty and their courses to ensure that there is a level playing field and that there are clear expectations for meeting the rubric goals and outcomes for each project and assignment. In terms of how I want to design and implement this project, I needed to first think about faculty. I knew that getting faculty together would be difficult. Faculty have different class times, they have very different office hours, and gathering them as a group is difficult. So how could I design and implement this to make this work? I decided to go for a two-pronged approach. The first would be an online component, a quiz. A second would be a face-to-face component involving a feedback session. The online quiz would test our understanding of the essentials of effective rubric use. The face-to-face component, the feedback session, would involve dialogue and discussion about the quiz as well as design and implementation of the lesson. Looking at which technology support solution to use, there were a number of offerings. For the quiz, I looked at such programs such as Quizlet and Socrative. For the polling program, I looked at Poll Everywhere and Poll Daddy. What I wanted at the end was something that was easy to use, something that could be used with personal mobile devices, and a program that offered a great tech support solution if needed. With these three criteria in mind, I started to nix several programs that I had initially considered. One was PollDaddy. While a great program offering a number of features, the tech support wasn't all that great, so I decided to go with Poll Everywhere. When it came to the implementation, I first sent out the online quiz. We had 6 participants. The participants used Socrative to take the quiz. The quiz included questions that involved progression scales, meeting learning outcomes, and meeting student needs. The feedback portion took place a couple days after the quiz was sent out to ensure that available faculty could attend this face-to-face component. Now, we had 6 participants, all but one were able to attend. Now, even though we had one who could not attend the face-to-face component, we actually did okay because the great feature about Poll Everywhere is that it can be used with cell phones. So, because even though that one individual wasn't there, they were still able to participate. Now, the feedback included discussions such as the quiz actually improved my knowledge and understanding of effective rubrics. I liked the design of the 2 components. I found this lesson to be a valuable use of my time. Now, in regard to responses and answers from the feedback from the participants, overall the responses were pretty positive, except for a couple of tech issues. Now, as we've learned in this course, there are always going to be tech issues. I found 2 that I had to contend with. The first was the class setup. Now, I was able to obtain a classroom with a projector and a widescreen. However, this was not set up in the ideal setup that I needed to, so I had to take a few extra minutes to set this up. The second challenge involved Poll Everywhere. While Poll Everywhere was a great program, it did have some issues regarding logging in. There were questions about how to log in correctly, so we had to spend a few extra minutes going over that. It wasn't a whole lot of time, but it was still an expected time, and we had to do some troubleshooting. Now, thankfully, I was able to troubleshoot these issues fairly well because I had gone over Socrative and Poll Everywhere to ensure that I could answer any questions if they arise. Overall, I thought the implementation went pretty well. We did run into some tech issues, but we were able to troubleshoot these. The participants did say that they learned something from the quiz and were able to take away something from the feedback session, meaning that for these participants, I was able to address the issues of my teaching problem in regards to discussing the importance and significance of effective rubrics. This was overall, from start to finish, a great experience, a great learning lesson, And with the feedback session that I had, if I were ever to do this lesson again with more faculty, I now know what I can do to improve on this lesson. Thank you.